All right, welcome to Big Time Basketball, the basketball segment of the Fantasy Fanatics Podcast. I'm your host once again, James. I'm joined once again by Mete. What's up, man?
Heyo.
All right, in today's episode, we're going to recap some of the games that, actually pretty much all of the games that happened on Sunday night. Probably by the time this goes up, the Monday slate would have been played out. So we'll just take a look at the Monday games before going right into the pickups for fantasy basketball for the week. And then we'll take a look at Tuesday's slate. We'll take a look at some of the spreads and we'll project out some of the games. So how does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, let's get into it. We'll start with the Sunday recap. And we'll start with the New York Knicks beating the LA Clippers 110-102. A big game for the Knicks at home here. RJ Barrett led the Knicks with 28 points. Reggie Jackson had 26 for the Clippers. Both RJ Barrett and Ivica Zubac had 14 rebounds to lead their respective teams. Then Emmanuel quickly had 6 assists to lead the Knicks, while Eric Bledsoe also had 6 to lead the Clippers. I guess just give me your thoughts on this game. The Knicks getting the dub here.
Yeah, it's a solid win for the Knicks. It's a home game for them, so it's kind of expected, especially without the Clippers having Paul George. And I've been saying this and I'm still saying it. They're a really up and down team, the Knicks. So hopefully they can find some consistency. It was good to see Cam Reddish finally make his New York debut. Only got 5 minutes, so that's kind of concerning, but maybe he's being eased into it as he just came back from an injury. And RJ Barrett, shout out to him. He's been playing great this season. And yeah, he's really breaking out this season.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This Knicks team, they're still pretty young. Nice getting a new face in there like Cam Reddish. And yeah, the Clippers, they've been banged up. They've dropped to ninth in the West. I mean, it's one of those games where, as a Knicks fan, you kind of expect your team to go out there and get the win, and they did that. So good for them. We'll move into the next game now. Boston Celtics beating the Washington Wizards 116-87. Big win here for Boston. Jason Tatum, big night, 51 points to lead the Celtics. Bradley Beal at 19 for the Wizards. Tatum added 10 rebounds for the Celtics, while Denny Avdija had 7 for the Wizards. And then both Jason Tatum and Bradley Beal led their respective teams with 7 assists. I guess, what are your thoughts? This is a huge win here for Boston.
Yeah, it is huge. They went on the road to get this win. They won by, what is it? Almost 29
Almost,
points,
yeah,
39, something like
almost
that.
30. Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say big win.
Yeah, it's a big margin. The Celtics are another team that's really up and down. So yeah, hopefully they can catch some consistency. The Wizards, they're kind of in the same boat. They were off to a hot start, but yeah, lately they've been really up and down as well. So yeah, this is great for the Celtics. Hopefully they can build on it. Tatum with an insane stat line, almost triple doubling with 51 points. That's really impressive. And for the Wizards, yeah, hopefully they can get things fixed up, as earlier in the year they looked like they could be a really dangerous team.
Yeah, I feel like the Wizards just kind of laid an egg in this game. I feel like they should be able to bounce back for the next one. And then as for Boston, we've been talking about it for weeks. Hopefully they can find some sort of consistency because I believe they are a playoff level team. They just need to sort of find it. Moving on to the next game, we have the Miami Heat beating the LA Lakers 113-107. I guess leading the Heat in points, Duncan Robinson with 25, LeBron James leading the Lakers with 33 points. He also added 11 rebounds to lead the Lakers as well, while Jimmy Butler had 10 for the Heat. And then Jimmy Butler added 12 assists to lead Miami, while Russell Westbrook had 9 for the Lakers. Big win for Miami. They're first in the East now. I guess, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like you said, they're first in the East now, so they've been playing some great basketball lately. They've got a really good squad this year. 2 seasons ago, they made the finals, and then last year they got swept in the first round. So yeah, they're kind of on a redemption tour this season, and at this moment, it's looking great for them. And for the Lakers, speaking of another up and down team, Yeah, the Lakers are just another team in that list. They're another team that's got great talent, and hopefully they can fix things up. But I don't know, LeBron in his Cleveland days, a lot of his Cavaliers teams, they didn't have the greatest regular seasons, and once the playoffs hit, they turned into a different animal. So maybe this is another case of that.
Yeah, they got to find a way to get into the playoffs first, and hopefully Anthony Davis can come back at some point. They definitely need him. And then as for the Heat, triple double for Jimmy Butler, so that's pretty nice to see as well. Getting to the next game, we have the Orlando Magic upsetting the Chicago Bulls 114 to 95. Leading the Magic in points was Maurice Wagner with 23. DeMar DeRozan dropped 41 to lead the Bulls, well, almost half of their total points. And then in terms of rebounds, Chuma Kiki had 7 for the Magic, and Nikola Vucevic had 13 for the Bulls. Vucevic added 3 assists to lead the Bulls, while Jalen Suggs added 7 assists to lead the Magic. I don't know. I guess what are your thoughts on this entire game? Big upset.
Yeah, it's a huge upset. The Bulls were missing a couple players, but you'd still expect them to win this game, even if they're on the road. But I guess I've been saying for past couple episodes now that the Magic are much better than their record, and they kind of showed it this game. So great job by them. But for the Bulls, I feel like Alex Caruso actually makes a big difference for them. I think he's the leader for steals, if not like top two. So yeah, he brings great energy on the defensive end for them. So I think they really miss him. And it's kind of unfortunate. He recently got back and then gets hurt a couple games after. So yeah, hopefully he comes back for them as before the season even started, I kind of thought they overpaid him, but he's really showing his value to the team.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The Bulls are pretty banged up right now. They definitely need to get some of their players back in order to sort of be that top end contender like they were earlier in the year. And then, yeah, great on the Magic. Huge upset win. Take advantage when teams don't have players in, get the wins. A lot of young guys getting minutes there as well. So that's great to see. Moving to the next game, Portland Trail Blazers beating the Toronto Raptors 114 to 105. We have Nasir Little leading the Blazers with 19 points. Pascal Siakam had 28 to lead the Raptors. In terms of rebounds, Yusuf Nurkic had 11 to lead Portland, while Chris Boucher had 9 to lead the Raptors. And then Dennis Smith Jr. had 6 assists to lead Portland, while Fred VanVleet had 8 to lead Toronto. I guess give me your thoughts on this game. Tough loss for the Raptors.
Yeah, it's a really tough loss as the Blazers, they've been struggling this season and they're without Damian Lillard, their best player, and Norman Powell, who's definitely one of their best players as well. So if you look at it at that perspective, it is kind of frustrating, but yeah, the Raptors really dug themselves in a big hole. They get outscored 33-15 first quarter, 31-19 second quarter. So yeah, the second half they're just playing catch up. They actually almost make the comeback. So in that perspective, I liked what I saw as it was a huge deficit. The Raptors didn't give up. They tried their hardest to come back, and it was just too big of a deficit. So it's a tough loss, but I really liked the effort they showed in the second half.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The only problem is when you go into halftime and you don't even have like 40 points, it's just really tough. You're climbing out of too big of a hole, like you said. Hopefully, the Raptors, I guess, can just use this game and the second half that they played to sort of rebound for their next game. And then we'll move on to the next game on the Sunday slate. It was the Atlanta Hawks beating the Charlotte Hornets 113 to 91. Trey Young leading the Hawks with 30 points. LaMelo Ball had 19 to lead the Hornets. Then for rebounds, Clint Capella had 8 to lead the Hawks. Mason Plumlee had 11 to lead the Hornets. And then for assists, John Collins had 5 to lead the Hawks, and Terry Rozier had 7 for the Hornets. I guess just getting to you on this game, I guess what are your thoughts on these two teams?
Yeah, so for the Hawks, They're coming off a Eastern Conference Finals appearance last year, and they're really struggling this year. So hopefully they can turn it around. They've got the talent there to do it. And Nate McMillan, he really turned around the team last season. So I know he could do it. It's just something is off right now. For the Hornets, they're just kind of another one of those up and down teams, but they're still in a playoff spot. So they're playing pretty well. Yeah, I kind of had lower expectations for them. I thought they'd be around like the 8, 9 seed, so they're kind of overperforming that even when they're kind of struggling. So it's good to see.
Yeah, for sure. I think that both of these teams, the way they've been playing, they deserve to be playoff teams. The Hawks sort of need to get back to that. They've sort of been below their expectations for the year. So yeah, hopefully they do rebound and get some key wins. Hopefully this win can sort of kickstart that for them. We'll move on to the next game here. Philadelphia 76ers beating the San Antonio Spurs 115 to 109. Joel Embiid, he's been on a tear lately. He had 38 points to lead the Sixers. Jakob Poeltl had 25 to lead the Spurs. Joel Embiid led the Sixers with 12 rebounds. Poeltl also led the Spurs in rebounds with 10. And then for the Sixers in assists, Tyrese Maxey led them with 6. And then DeJounte Murray had 12 rebounds to lead the Spurs. I guess walk through this game. This was a pretty big win for the Sixers.
Yeah, it's a nice win for them. Uh, I'm noticing the Spurs are now down to the 13th seed, so kind of been struggling lately. I think they were pretty close to 500 a couple weeks ago, so they must have gone on like a losing streak, which is unfortunate. But for the Sixers, I'd say they're kind of stabilizing. I like couple weeks ago, I think they were they were another one of those up and down teams, but like I said lately, I think they're playing much better. Becoming more consistent. So yeah, that's great to see. And unfortunately for them, it looks like the Ben Simmons situation won't be resolved. So hopefully they can get that resolved and get a good return for him. As yeah, there's been a lot of rumors going around, but still nothing has happened.
Yeah, it is really tough when you have a superstar player like that. It's going to be tough to get a big return considering how he's been sitting out for the entire year. So hopefully that can happen. And then, yeah, as for the Spurs, it's just been a downhill cycle as of late. They really just need to find some kind of rhythm and to get things going. Let's see if they'll be able to do that. I think playoffs might be out of reach for this season, but hopefully they can just have a respectable record. We'll get to the next game. We have the Dallas Mavericks beating the Memphis Grizzlies 104 to 91. Luka Doncic had 37 points to lead the Mavericks. Ja Morant had 35 to lead the Grizzlies. Luka also added 11 rebounds to lead the Mavericks, while Ja added 13 to lead the Grizzlies. And wow, they also led in assists as well. Luka had 9 for the Mavericks, and Ja Morant had 6 for the Grizzlies. I think this was the battle of two superstar players. I guess what were your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, even though the Grizzlies lost, they're up to the third seed now, so that's great for them. Uh, it looked like they were kind of stuck in the fourth seed, but recently they've gone up, so that's great. Thoughts on the game? And looks like the Mavericks are becoming that hot team now. They're really taking off ever since Luka came back a week or two ago. And yeah, they were like what, ninth seed or something. They've skyrocketed to fifth seed. They're playing amazing. And it looks like this might be the year where if the Mavericks can get in the playoffs, I feel like they will. It looks like they could definitely win a playoff series as Porzingis even I think he's really elevated his play.
Yeah, I was going to say both these two teams have been pretty hot as of late. So it's a big win for the Mavericks getting it here. Yeah, both these two teams look great in the West right now. So, yeah, hopefully they can sort of continue to push things forward towards the playoffs. We'll move to the next game now. Minnesota Timberwolves beating the Brooklyn Nets 136 to 125. Anthony Edwards had 25 points to lead the Wolves, while Kyrie Irving had 30 to lead the Nets. And then in terms of rebounds, Jared Vanderbilt had 9 to lead the Wolves, while Day'Ron Sharpe had 9 to lead the Nets. And then for assists, D'Angelo Russell had 10 to lead the Wolves, while James Harden had 13 to lead Brooklyn. I guess just getting to this game, I guess, what are your thoughts on this win for the Wolves?
It's a great win. The Nets are one of the top teams in the league, and the Timberwolves continue to show why they're one of the biggest surprises this year in the NBA. As last season they were one of the bottom teams, and now they're playing great as they're currently seventh seed. They are 500, which isn't the greatest record, but they're playing in the Western Conference, which is probably the tougher division or conference, sorry, out of the two. And yeah, I'm just really impressed with what I see from this team. I think Jared Vanderbilt has been great for them this season. He's one of the better defenders in the league. And yeah, for Brooklyn, it's a tough loss, but they really need Kevin Durant, I think. Like, they've got Kyrie and James Harden, but I think Kevin Durant's their leader. And yeah, his build, like 7-footer, can dribble uh like a guard and score whenever he can. He's just a huge weapon for the Nets. So yeah, they definitely need him back, I think.
Yeah, when you're missing your best player, sometimes when you need points, then you're not always able to get them. So definitely understand with the Nets losing this game. And then as for the Wolves, yeah, we talked about in the offseason, they have all the pieces to have a pretty decent team. They just weren't able to put it together. And it's good to see, even though they're at 500, they're putting it together somewhat, getting Edwards and KAT and Russell and all these guys. They've all been playing well this season. So it's great to see for the Wolves. Getting to the next game, Denver Nuggets beating the Detroit Pistons, 117 to 111. The leading scorers, Nikola Jokic had 34 to lead the Nuggets. Kate Cunningham, 18 points to lead the Pistons. Then for rebounds, Nikola Jokic had 9 to lead the Nuggets, while Sadiq Bey had 7 to lead the Pistons. And then for assists, Nikola Jokic and Kate Cunningham both had 8 to lead their respective teams. I guess just getting to this game, what are your thoughts on this win for the Nuggets?
Yeah, it's a good win. And for the past couple weeks now, I've been saying Jokic is a one-man show, but and I said that I wanted to see the Nuggets try to get him some help, and they're doing that. They recently picked up Bryn Forbes. Not the flashiest name, but he's a great piece off the bench. You and Spurs fans, even Bucks fans probably know on his day he can get really hot, make pretty much all his shots, and possibly even lead your team in scoring. So I was a big fan of that move, and they picked up DeMarcus Cousins as well, which was kind of unfortunate the way he got released. A couple weeks ago, he doubled, and then the team decided to move on from him. So yeah, he might not be what he was before, but he's DeMarcus Cousins is still a really great player. So the Nuggets, they're trying their best to get Jokic some help, and yeah, they need to keep looking for moves to get him some help as he's a great talent, and with the right players around him, they can go really far.
Yeah, it's just going to be really tough when you're missing Michael Porter and Jamal Murray. It's just, I mean, it almost feels like a season where, Jokic, he's in his prime. You want to go for a title. And yeah, the supporting cast around him's all banged up. So yeah, hopefully they can get him some help. And then, yeah, as for the Pistons, we talked about this all year. It's just another rebuild. It's just another tryout for all the young players. They did play decently well in this game, keeping it close. So that's nice to see. Getting to the next game, this is a powerhouse matchup. Golden State Warriors beating the Utah Jazz 94 to 92. Two Western Conference giants in this game. Leading the Warriors in points was Jordan Poole with 20. Bojan Bogdanovic had 21 to lead the Jazz. Then for rebounds, Otto Porter had 8 for the Warriors, while Rudy Gobert had 18 for the Jazz. And then leading in assists, Steph Curry was 6 for the Warriors, and Joe Ingles with 5 for Utah. Getting to this game, yeah, this is a big win for Golden State.
Yeah, it's a big win, but the scoreboard is kind of surprising for me. Pretty low scoring game from top teams in the league. So yeah, a really defensive battle, which you probably wouldn't expect from a game like this. But it was a close game nonetheless. The Jazz were without Donovan Mitchell. The Warriors were without Klay Thompson. So it kind of evened out. And yeah, really unfortunate for the Jazz, as this would have been a huge win for them to show the league that they're for real. As I don't know, I feel like they're kind of underrated.
Yeah, they are underrated. Obviously, not having Donovan Mitchell was huge in this game. But other than that, yeah, I think the Jazz played pretty well. Golden State still going in there and getting it done. So good on them as well. That's it for the Sunday recaps. We'll move to the Monday slate. It's going to be getting underway in just a few hours. So I guess we'll just look at the spreads and we'll sort of just talk about the teams. Since the games are probably going to be done by the time this episode gets up. So, first game is Knicks against Cavaliers. The Cavs are favored by 5.5 at home. I guess which side do you sort of like in this game?
I think I'll go with the Cavs. It's not the biggest spread for the Cavs to cover. They're at home, and the Knicks played last night on Sunday. So yeah, all those things kind of point in the Cavaliers' direction for me.
I was pretty much just going to say the same points that you said. So I think I'm just going to say that I agree with you. I like the Cavs as well. We'll get to the next game. It's the Chicago Bulls at the OKC Thunder. It looks like the Bulls are favored by 1.5 on the road. Do you think the Bulls can sort of bounce back here, or do you like OKC at home?
Yeah, I feel like the Bulls should bounce back, even though they'll be without Caruso, who I said is a big part of that team, and probably without Zach Levine still. I think he's out as well. So I don't know. I feel like 1.5 is way too low, even though they're missing two main guys. So I gotta go with the Bulls.
Is Lonzo out as well? I think he might also
Oh
be out.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
out as
so I
well.
think that's what I was gonna say. I think Demar is gonna have to come up big. Vucevic, I know Kobe White's been playing a lot of bigger minutes, so I might lean with the Bulls just slightly. I think they still have the better offensive talent. Will they have more depth than the Thunder? Probably not, but we saw how DeRozan pretty much carried this team last game. So at 1.5, I mean, they gotta get a close win. I think that they should be able to do that. So yeah, I'll go with Chicago as well. Moving to the next game, we have the Pacers at the Pelicans. Pelicans are favored by 3.5. I guess give me your thoughts on this one.
This one's a tough one, as I don't know, the Pacers, they've really struggled, and they're missing Sabonis. Who else are they missing? They don't have Turner and Malcolm Brogdon, I think.
Is Levert
So
playing?
I think he's game time or questionable, something like that. So yeah, it's really tough. And those are really good players that I just named. So I might have to go with the Pelicans because of injury reasons.
Yeah, I think the Pelicans. I mean, they're only favored by 3.5 just because their record hasn't been too great. But I think in terms of talent on the floor for this game, they should have a good margin, a better talent. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Pelicans as well. I definitely think they can pull this off. And then, oh, this is a huge spread for the last game. The Suns are favored by 11.5 against the Utah Jazz. The Suns are home for this game. I guess which side do you like?
I think Gobert is out, and Mitchell might not be back. So I can see why the spread's that big, but I don't know. I feel like it's a little too big, and I might have to go with the Jazz.
Yeah, I think this game opened at 7 without Donovan Mitchell. And then when Rudy Gobert was ruled out, it moved to 11.5. Yeah, this is tough. I want to go with the Suns, but I don't know. Is Aiton back? Is he playing?
Uh, let's see. I
Because
don't think
if
he
he's not
is.
playing, I might go with the Jazz actually.
He's doubtful.
Yeah, so I think I might go with Utah here. I think both teams don't have their top centers. Should be a decently close because the Jazz do have quite a bit of depth. So, yeah, I might lean with Utah as well. I definitely like that. And yeah, so great Monday slate. It's gonna kick off pretty soon as we're recording. So, yeah, we'll just move right into the fantasy basketball pickups for the week. Mete, I'm just gonna start with you. I guess who's your guard for the week?
For guard, I went with Torrey Craig of the Indiana Pacers. He's 12% owned in Yahoo leagues, and he's shooting guard, small forward, and power forward eligible. So that's great. He can play three positions. And like we said in the preview, the Pacers are without Miles Turner, Malcolm Brogdon, and Demontis Sabonis. So Craig has been starting lately, and he's been getting great minutes. Last week, he averaged 1.3 3-pointers, 7.3 points, 6.8 rebounds, 1.3 steals, and almost a block a game on less than one turnover a game. So it's not the greatest numbers, but he's been given a lot of minutes and he can give you a category. He can give you a variety of category coverage. So I think he's worth a lot.
I think I'm just going to stick right with the same team because Indiana is banged up. So my guard pickup for the week is Jeremy Lamb. He's been getting opportunity to get minutes because of the said players that you listed that were out. I think he's had 14 points in back-to-back games. He's had 9 rebounds over that span, 4 assists. He's had 3 steals and 2 blocks over that 2 game span. So really good stats overall. He'll make 1 or 2 threes per game as well, so that's pretty decent. And both of his percentages won't hurt you. So he's more of a deep league pickup, but if you're really desperate in a shallow league, he is someone that you can look at. He plays shooting guard and small forward. I'll get to you now on forwards. I guess who's your pickup for the week?
For forward, I went with Maxi Kleber of the Dallas Mavericks. Power forward and center eligible and 8% roster. And he's been starting the last 11 games for the Mavericks. He's averaging 80% free throw, 1 3-pointer a game, only 6 points, 4 rebounds, but he gets half a steal, 1 block. And yeah, he's kind of like Torrey Craig in the sense that not the flashiest numbers, but he's got great defensive numbers. And he can hit the three ball. So a big man who can make the three is great for fantasy these days. And he gives you good category coverage. So I think he's definitely worth a look.
All right, and my forward pickup for the week again is Nick Batum for the LA Clippers. We've talked about how banged up this Clippers team is. He's been getting prime minutes. I think he's hit double-digit points in 3 out of his past 4 games, including a 32-point performance. He's getting rebounds. He's getting assists. I think his past 2 games, he's had 2 steals per game. He'll get some blocks as well. And he shoots 3-pointers, which is huge. I think over his past 3 games, he's had a total of 12 3-pointers, which is pretty insane for a forward. And his free throw is almost perfect over that span as well. So definitely look at Nick Batum, especially if you're in a category league. I believe he's ticked up over 30% roster percentage, so might only be available in shallow leagues. So definitely take a look at him. I'll get to you now for center, Mete. Who's your center for the week?
For center, I went with Kevon Looney from the Golden State Warriors. He's up to 34% roster and he's power forward center eligible. So yeah, there's a chance he might not be on your waiver wire as his popularity has risen last week as he usually plays 15 to 20 minutes, but he's been playing great lately and he's seeing 20 plus minutes over the last 6 games. And listen to these numbers. He's averaging 75% field goal, 87% free throw percentage, 7.8 points a game, 10.8 rebounds on 1 steal and 1.3 blocks. So, yeah, he's playing amazing lately. If he's on your waiver wire, you should definitely pick him up.
Yeah, those are solid numbers. And my center pickup for the week is Trey Lyles from the Detroit Pistons. I mean, he's just been playing a lot of minutes there as well. I think he's had double-digit points in pretty much 5 out of his past 6 games. He's had at least 5 rebounds in every single game over that span, including averaging around an assist and a half per game. He has a average of a block every game as well. So definitely really solid, and his percentages won't hurt you because he's a big. Even at the free throw line, he's been a little inconsistent, but the numbers won't hurt you at all. So definitely look at Trey Lyles. He's getting the minutes in Detroit. He's been over 20 minutes, I believe, in pretty much every single game over that span. I think one of them he was under, but yeah, even a game with like over 30 minutes as well. So he's definitely getting time on the court. You definitely want to add him. It's around 25% rostered, so he might not be available in deep leagues, but definitely go add him up if you need center help. And yeah, that's going to be the end of the fantasy ball pickups for the week. So we're going to move right into the Tuesday preview. We'll look at some of the spreads that are already up. The games that don't have spreads, we'll just pick winners. We'll start with the first game here. Charlotte Hornets at the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors are favored by 2 points, Mete. I guess, do you think the Raptors can pull this one out?
Uh, I'm not sure. It's a pretty low spread, but the Hornets, they're definitely not bad of a team. So I think this game could go either way. And for that reason, I'll just side with the Hornets.
Yeah, I think that there's a chance you might be able to get some value on the Hornets right now because I feel like this is a game where the spread could flip coming up to game time. So I think if you really like the Hornets, take them now. I kind of like the Raptors. If they were sort of on the plus, I would like them even more. So I think I might side with the same side as you. Just take the team with the plus. This game could go either way. We'll move to the next game. It's the LA Clippers at the Washington Wizards. The Wizards are favored by 4.5 at home. I guess who do you like here?
This is another tricky one as I feel like it could go either way, but I don't know. For some reason, I'll go with the Wizards as the Clippers have really been struggling without Paul George.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Clippers might have a chance here. It's tough. This spread probably could creep up as well. Um, yeah, I think it should be around a 5 point spread. So right now I would lean with the Wizards because they're at the 4.5. If it goes anywhere over 5, I think I like the Clippers there. Moving to the next game, we have the Denver Nuggets at the Detroit Pistons. I think this is a rematch of the previous game. It's just they switched. Now the Pistons are at home. Nuggets are favored by 7 points on the road. Who do you like here?
I think the game we just previewed was close, so this time the Pistons are at home. I don't know. I feel like the spread's uh kind of on the bigger side, so I might go with the Pistons for those reasons.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back to the scoring for that game. I don't feel like Nikola Jokic had his usual like almost triple double game, if not triple double. I feel like maybe this game it might happen. So I think there's a chance I'll take the Nuggets on the spread. I think Jokic will probably have a better game. He didn't have his best game for the last one, and yeah, I think the Nuggets might be able to cover this. I think it's low enough against the Pistons. If it's not a double digit spread, I definitely like it. So I'll take the Nuggets here. Moving to the next game, it's the New Orleans Pelicans at the Philadelphia 76ers. Sixers are favored by 4 points at home. I don't know. Do you think the Sixers is a no brainer, or I guess what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like the Sixers are a no-brainer as 4 is a pretty small spread for basketball. I'm definitely going with that.
Also, I think the Pelicans are going to be coming off a back to back. We just talked about that. So it's another thing to bake in there. 76ers at home as well. Definitely get this number while you can. And then moving on to the next one, Sacramento Kings at the Boston Celtics. Celtics are favored by 8 points. Which side do you like here?
That's a great question as the Celtics have been all right lately. The Kings, not the greatest, but I feel like 8 is too much, especially for a team that's been inconsistent for Boston or team that's been inconsistent like Boston. So, yeah, I might have to go with the Kings for those reasons.
Yeah, I think this pick might come back to bite me, but I feel like the Celtics are turning the corner. So I think I'll take them at the 8. I just haven't been impressed with the Kings as of late. Honestly, the Celtics might just lay an egg because they've been so up and down all year, but I'm just hoping that they are turning it around. So yeah, I'm going to take the Celtics with the 8. And then getting to the next game, no spread yet. LA Lakers at the Brooklyn Nets. I guess which team do you like better to get the win?
I'll go for Brooklyn. They've been much more consistent and they're at home. So yeah, if it's a low spread, something like that, I think I'd go with Brooklyn.
Yeah, I don't think Kyrie's playing home games right now, so I might actually like the Lakers here. This might be a good way, especially if they're going to be underdogs on the spread. I think this might be a good chance to take the Lakers. So yeah, give me LA for this one. I know they've been up and down; they've been very inconsistent, but I think there is a chance that they can pull out the win. We'll move to the next game: San Antonio Spurs at the Houston Rockets. The Spurs are favored by 4 on the road. I guess which side do you like here?
I feel like this game could go either way, and the Rockets are at home, so I think I'll just go with the plus and the Rockets.
Yeah, this might be kind of a homer pick, but I'm gonna go with the Spurs. I just really think that this is a chance for them to bounce back. Had some rough couple games over the past few, and the Rockets are definitely a team they can capitalize on. So yeah, I'll take the Spurs here to cover. The next game doesn't have a spread. Minnesota Timberwolves at the Portland Trailblazers. I guess do you see Portland having any chance of winning this one, or do you like Minnesota?
Portland definitely has a chance as they're at home, but I still favor the Timberwolves as, like I said, they've been a pleasant surprise this season. They're playing much better, and Portland hasn't really been that consistent. So I'd go with the Timberwolves if it's a low spread.
Yeah, I think I might go with the Wolves as well. They've definitely been a good surprise this year with how they've been playing. So, yeah, I definitely think they have a chance to win this game. And then one more game on the slate: Dallas Mavericks at the Golden State Warriors. I think whatever the spread is, if the Mavericks are getting the plus, I might take them. But I guess who do you think is going to win this game since there's no spread?
Yeah, probably the Warriors will win, but I'm sure the Mavericks will get the plus as they're on the road. But yeah, if it's like, I don't know, plus even plus one, I take them as they've been playing great lately. So yeah, I think the Warriors should win, but with the way that the Mavericks are playing, I wouldn't be opposed to going with them.
Yeah, I mean, with the way Luca's playing, they could maybe even upset and win outright. That's how good Dallas has been playing. So definitely, whatever the number is, if it's a plus, I definitely like Dallas for this one. And yeah, that's the end of the preview for the Tuesday slate. I guess any last thoughts from you, Mete?
Uh, let's see. I don't know. I feel like the Suns are playing great lately. The Mavericks, like I said, they really skyrocketed the last couple weeks, so it's great to see. For the East, the it's kind of really how should I say this? Like a lot of the teams, they don't have much separation, so the standings could flip at any given time. But the Heat recently, they get the first seed, so that's been a surprise as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say how many teams in the East have had the first seed this year? Quite a few. I think even Cleveland had it at one point, Chicago, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, all these teams they've cycled through. So the East is definitely wide open. And then as for the West, it's starting to tighten up as well. We've seen the Grizzlies move up to the third seed, which is pretty nice to see. Got all these teams jumbled up there. So yeah, the season's been as unpredictable as it gets. Of course, all the injuries, all the protocols, and all that. So yeah, it's really tough to predict every game, and I guess that's what makes games more exciting as a fan. You definitely don't know what you're going to get. So yeah, I think that's pretty much going to be the end of this big time basketball episode. Make sure you check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Fan Podcast. We'll be posting picks for all these games as well as NFL and NHL. So definitely go check that out. this podcast. It's going to be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Just make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit the bell for notifications on YouTube, leave comments, reviews, all that good stuff. And yeah, definitely solid game slate on both Monday and Tuesday. Really looking forward to it. And we'll talk to you guys on the next episode.